All right, this is something I don't usually do, but this one is near and dear to me. So I'm going to review it. This is the Marvel Legends Hobgoblin from the new Build-A-Figure wave with the Spider-Man characters. You get Spider-Man, Anti-Venom, Spider-Man 2099, Spider-Girl, Ultimate Spider-Woman, and Anti-Venom are the 6 figures in the wave, and they each come with a piece to build Hobgoblin here. Now, this is the Phil Urich Hobgoblin, who was, I think Roderick Kingsley's back in the outfit, at least he was for a while. But he's the most recent incarnation of the Hobgoblin. There might be a new one, I'm not sure. Because he's currently the Goblin King, or the Goblin Knight. I think he's trying to be the Goblin King with Green Goblin out of the picture. But anyway, before we get into it, but this is Phil Urich. And he is the nephew of Ben Urich from the Daily Bugle. He was the Green Goblin for a while, trying to be a hero, and that didn't work out, and he eventually became kind of evil, and when looking for more ways to amp up his power, found what he thought was Roderick Kingsley trying to break in and steal some stuff, and it actually ended up being Roderick Kingsley's brother. And but he killed him, and he took all the cool new Goblin gear, and he became this version of the Hobgoblin, which I love. One, Hobgoblin's always been a little bit more my favorite Goblin, even though, you know, Green Goblin, I like Green Goblin, but you know, he's kind of the main Spider-Man villain. But I've always kind of liked Hobgoblin more, and of course, you know, the orange does not hurt, because if you've watched any of my videos, you know how I feel about orange. It's my favorite. So so when this was the Build-A-Figure, I had to buy the whole wave. I already got rid of some of the ones I didn't want. But yeah, I really like Phil Urich Hobgoblin, and this is a great version of him. One of the things that's cool, he comes with this little removable pumpkin bomb. This little translucent orange plastic. He's got his flaming sword here. And what's cool is you can see the hilt of the sword here has like a projectile flaming energy blade, and even kind of, this is not warped from bending or anything. That's just, it has kind of a shimmery flame blade, which is really cool. But if you don't have it, if you don't want to have them displayed with it, it also comes with just the unflaming hilt that stores in his backpack, where it does normally in the comic. I think that's really cool. You can have him without a sword, but he still has, you know, the unflaming hilt tucked into his little backpack. So yeah, I think Spider-Man comes with this leg, Anti-Venom comes with this leg, the left arm and the sword come with Spider-Man 2099, the right arm and the pumpkin bomb come with Daredevil, the torso comes with Ultimate Spider-Woman, and the head and backpack, wing pack come with Spider-Girl. I believe that's where they all came from. So yeah, he's got all the articulation of a standard figure. Got the nice shiny knee pads there. It's just such a cool Hobgoblin look. And he doesn't have the Goblin glider because these wings, they can fold up on his back, but the wings allow him to fly. It's like it's kind of like the Vulture's backpack. It's kind of like an anti-grav backpack with the wings. So he doesn't need the glider to fly. It's just a nice. I like the buckles. I like everything about this outfit. And I really like Phil Urich as the Hobgoblin. So. I liked him as Green Goblin too, but that series only lasted like 12 issues. so yeah. Now the one thing, when we're putting them all together, everything snaps together really well. The only, you do want to put the backpack on before you put the arms on. I haven't tried to pull them apart. Okay, so it does come off. He does come apart pretty easily. Let me see if I can get his other arm out here. But you do want to put the backpack. Well, see, this one doesn't want to come out. I don't want to force it. But these straps are actually part of the backpack here. So you want to make sure when you put them together, plug the backpack in first. There's a little peg hole in this back that it pegs into, and bring the straps up around, and then put the arms through them. Because otherwise, you're going to have one heck of a time trying to get. If you forget and put one arm on, I guess you could slide it up and then do it like this, and then plug the other arm in. But yeah, if you don't do that right, you're going to have a devil of a time getting that backpack on. The other tricky part, that really wasn't tricky, just order of business, is getting his head on. Because he's got this sculpted cowl in orange plastic, but his head is actually a separate piece. But it comes already installed because of the ears and everything. I'm not sure how they did it because I couldn't get it back out. But it comes already installed up in the cowl, and it kind of rattles around on the cowl until you attach it. But I couldn't get it out. And trying to push it down, since it's sitting loose in there, and the cowl's a stiffer plastic, getting enough pressure to push it all the way down onto that peg joint on the neck was a little bit of a pain. I actually think I ended up taking a flathead screwdriver and kind of wedging it up into the cowl where, like, even if it marked his head, it didn't, thankfully, but like just get something stiff and get it up in there between the top of his head and the cowl, just to give you a little bit more resistance when snapping it on, because it really took a lot of force to get his head on. Otherwise, you could kind of peg it on, but then anytime you try to turn it, it would just pop off. Because of the stiffness of the cowl, it's a little hard to get his head to turn much. It's on a standard mushroom peg and a hinge joint, so he should have a pretty decent range of movement. But you can see the cowl kind of comes up back here when you turn his head like that. It's hard to get it to, so he doesn't have a whole lot of range. But it's a wonderful sculpture on his face. His mouth's actually open. That's not just paint. Like, it's actually, there's a slot in there. He's actually got sculpted jaws and an open mouth, which is really neat. It's just a really demonic, evil-looking hobgoblin. And it's based off, it looks like it's based off Humberto Ramos's art. Humberto Ramos' art. Spidey kind of does too. Spidey comes with like a pizza face, or a piece of pizza and a hand and all that stuff. But yeah, I feel like buying this whole wave was worth it just to get this figure. It's really nicely done. But I'll show him off with some of the other figures from the wave. Here he is with Anti-Venom. With Spider-Man 2099. And with Spider-Man himself. Spider-Man comes with a bunch of different hands too, but like I said, I'm not reviewing the whole wave. I'm just going to do some comparisons. This was really the star of the wave for me, so I'm just going to do a quick little video here for him. I also brought in Agent Venom, because they only fought, like, I think once in like a 2-issue arc in Venom's series. And Venom, for most of the series, at least in the early stages, Jack-O-Lantern was the bad guy, not Philip Mockendale, Jason Mockendale, but Jack-O-Lantern, because apparently he's dead, who is one of the previous Hobgoblins. There have been several. But I was always hoping that maybe Hobgoblin would come back, like maybe they would kind of form a rivalry. Just because, if you know Venom, even though Flash is in the suit now with the Agent Venom suit, it's the symbiote. And the symbiote has two main weaknesses, and that's sonics and fire. Hobgoblin has both his flaming pumpkin bombs and his flaming sword. Plus, Phil still, from back when he was Green Goblin, he still retained his lunatic laugh, which was this ultrasonic cackling, which also would have affected Venom. And I just feel like they would have been, one, I love both these characters. They look good fighting together. I just felt like that would have made a nice rivalry where like his main villain possessed both of the things that were his weaknesses. I thought that would have been a neat conflict, but unfortunately that never came to be. I thought that would have been really cool. But so they're going to be together on my shelf because I feel like they were natural rivals and should have been in the comics. So anyway, I'm done geeking out for the night. This is the Build-A-Figure from the new Spider-Man wave. All the individual figures are great, but this Hobgoblin is really nice, and I'm super stoked to have it.